Investing is a very daunting topic, especially for beginners. You've heard about momentum trading, technical analysis, and all sorts. The charts seem to make no sense which you're looking at, but you want to make sure you're feeling comfortable with your choices, as you know investing comes with significant risks. But then you come across a strategy called dollar cost averaging, which seems extremely simple and straightforward. But can something so simple be that effective? If it was that easy, then why wouldn't everybody be doing it? When I first started out, I found the investing world quite daunting, and I researched a hell of a lot to make sure I was giving myself the best possible chance of making as much money as possible. This is when I landed on dollar cost averaging, and I personally wish that I could have seen a video back then that could have shown me some of the results that people have found by using this strategy. So I guess this is a video to myself a number of years ago. Was I making a massive mistake? Or was I onto a winning strategy from the very start? So in this video, I want to show you some real life profits from the investing strategy called dollar cost averaging. The strategy that I've been using now for over 3 years. In this time, I've seen a wide range of market events, which my strategy has had to navigate from the very start. Everything from the static market in 2018, the bullish market in 2019, coupled with the autumn sell-off, and then no one's ever going to forget the crash of 2020 due to the pandemic. On top of this, I want to clarify who this strategy is for and give you what I believe are the upsides and downsides of the dollar cost averaging strategy. But before I do though, I just want to give a quick shout out to some of my patrons. Rob, Jake, Tony, Stephen and Jay. I really appreciate your support, so thank you. If you're interested in joining my Patreon, then there'll be a link in the description below. Let me start by quickly clarifying what dollar cost averaging is and what it isn't. Firstly, don't get too concerned by the word dollar. You can place this word with your currency of choice, so pound, euro, yen, Bitcoin if you really wanted to. It doesn't really matter. It's called dollar cost averaging as it was popularised in the US first. What this strategy is though, is the same amount of money across the same time intervals. It doesn't matter how much or how often you do it, as long as it's the same each and every single time. So you could choose to invest £10 a week, £100 a month, or maybe £1,000 a quarter. Each of these is dollar cost averaging. If the amount varies month to month, or the time intervals vary from month to month, then this is not dollar cost averaging. You might have heard some people say that they do dollar cost average, but then they also keep money to one side in case of any dips. Well, if this is the case, then they're not really dollar cost averaging. So if you're starting out investing, who is dollar cost averaging for? You want to get into investing because of the benefits, but you're not looking to spend too much time actively managing your portfolio of stocks with looking at charts, buying and selling and all that. So this really is a simple strategy to follow. But what are the benefits and downsides of dollar cost averaging? Well, let's start with a list of the benefits. As mentioned, it is passive. So there's no large amount of time that you need to invest in researching certain stocks or when's the best time to buy or when the best time to sell is. This also means you don't need to get stressed if the market is going up or down, or even if the market is under or overvalued. Buying shares when it's overvalued is actually part of the plan. The benefits of dollar cost averaging is it's passively taking advantage of market swings without you having to do anything. When the price drops, you're going to buy more shares for your money. And when the price goes up, you're going to get less shares for your money. In addition to this, you're protecting yourself from getting stung by large swings in the market. If you lump all of your money into the market at once and then the market drops, you're going to get bitten pretty hard. If you dollar cost average, then you're not going to feel the full negative effect of a full market drop, as you're not putting all your money into the market at just one time. Another benefit would be that this strategy works extremely well when you sync it up to the payments you get from work. So maybe you struggle to save enough money to invest. Well, with dollar cost averaging, you can set your payment to go up straight after when you get paid from work. This way, investing timings work for you and there is no danger of you spending your investing money before you've invested it. Finally, this strategy means that you are protected from losing to the market. To clarify, this doesn't prevent you from losing money in the markets, but it protects you from performing worse than the actual market's performing. So if your fund or stock of choice goes up by 10% over a period of time, then you'll feel the same benefit. There's no danger that you might have bought at a peak and that you would have actually managed to have got a minus 2% return even though the fund has gone up over time, for example. But dollar cost averaging isn't all perfect. To highlight its biggest flaw, and to put it bluntly, you're choosing a strategy where you're accepting the average of the market, so you're really giving up on trying to beat it. This strategy is all about feeling the average benefit of the market, not beating it. So if you're looking to become a millionaire overnight by getting super returns, then dollar cost averaging is not for you. Personally, I didn't want the stress of actually managing an investment portfolio, and I am more than happy to guarantee my returns that match the market, rather than putting a lot of time into gambling on the fact if I might beat the market or lose to it. So after saying all of this, how has the dollar cost averaging strategy served me over the last 3 years? Well, for me, it started back at the start of 2018. Following a good amount of research, I felt dollar cost averaging suited my style of investing the most. So I set up a direct debit to come out of my mouth every 25th of every month. So it was getting paid out the day after I got paid from work. No matter what the share price was, I would purchase the same cash value of shares each and every month. The only time I would change my direct debit was either when I got a pay rise from work, I received some sort of bonus maybe along the way, or if I'd overstretched myself with investing. After all, life does happen. In real terms, this started out being a direct debit of roughly £400 a month, but over time I've managed to slowly bump that all the way up to about £890 now. In the future, I would look to increase this if possible, but I would still pay in monthly at the very same time, no matter what the share price is. My investment platform of choice is Vanguard, and I bought into a broad global index, which goes by the ticker symbol VWRL. However, you might prefer another platform or another fund or another stock. That's completely up to you. On Vanguard, I can show you a visual representation of all the buy orders over the years. You can see that they're equally spread out across the months and years equally, rather than scattered among the timeline where I've been trying to buy at a certain price or buying a dip more significantly. Even when the market did dip at the back end of 2018, and then also the massive dip in 2020, and then even when the share price seemed to be extremely high, I kept buying into it with my dollar cost averaging strategy. When I started purchasing, the share price was around about £65, £68, but it did drop as low as £55 2 years later. I would expect my average buy price to be slap bang in the middle of around about 65 to 84, which would be roughly £70. But due to the buying effect of actually getting more shares when the prices are low and less when the prices are high, my average buy price is actually under £68. Across this 3 year period, I've invested just over £45,000, spread evenly over this 3 years. But from doing all this and staying consistent, I've made over £11,600 to date. My platform calculates returns about 48%, which might confuse you, as you know that I've invested £45,000, so how can my return be 48% if I've only made just short of £12,000? Well, this is all to do with how the percentage is calculated. You might think that this return of £11,600 on a £45,000 investment is around about 25%, but you need to remember that some of this money has been in my account much longer than others. If we worked out in this simple way, then every time I made a deposit on the platform, it would bring my percentage return downwards, which wouldn't be fair. For this reason, Vanguard calculates your return based on IRR, which is your internal rate of return. Without going into the maths, it means it takes in consideration how long your money has been invested into your account for. Your personal situation will be different to mine, so feel free to use the base numbers I've given you and work out what that might look for you, depending on if you have more money to invest or less. And it'll give you a little bit of a steer on how you might have performed over the last 3 years if you'd started investing 3 years ago. I need to clarify though that your returns will be dependent on the market's future performance, which nobody can predict. But hopefully my example can help demonstrate how dollar cost averaging strategy performs in volatile markets. I do personally believe that the dollar cost averaging strategy should be the go-to for the vast majority of investors. It's not for this video, but I've actually pulled on some research in another video of how dollar cost averaging performs against other strategies, such as trying to buy the dip. I'll put a link in the top right hand corner. If you have any questions about dollar cost averaging, then feel free to put a comment in the section below. I will try and help you where I can. Anyway, that's all for this video. See you in the next one.